Hello everybody, my name is Mrs Walsh and I'm a teacher at the Livingston Road Primary Federation in Poole, and I'm here to teach you your fourth session of RE. Now, our topic at the moment is community, and we've been looking at how different religions show community and a sense of belonging through the things that they do. So in session one we looked at the special places that different religions go to worship and to come together. In session two, we looked at different religious symbols that show the meaning of those religions and create that sense of community together when you see those symbols within those places of worship. In session three, we looked at special clothing. So different items of clothing that different religions wear that show their beliefs and also create that community and sense of belonging. Now, today we're going to look at foods and feasts. So different foods and different feasts that religions have and how they create that sense of community and that sense of belonging together. Now, for today's session, you're going to need your colouring pencils and some paper. And if you want to, a paper plate, but it's not essential because if you haven't got a paper plate, we can just draw a big circle on your piece of paper. So don't worry if you haven't got one. Okay, now let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. And oh, I can't get to my button there. There was something hiding it. Here we go. Been released there. So special foods and feasts. So are you ready for your warm-up game? So because we're looking at how special foods and feasts can sometimes symbolize the communities we belong to, let's warm up our brains by seeing if you can guess what my favorite foods are. So I'm going to give you a clue and then you have to guess what they might be. Are you ready? So what am I? I taste great at the beach. I am even better with a little bit of salt and vinegar. I come in batter and I am wrapped in paper. What do you think I might be? I'm eaten at the beach, or I taste great at the beach. I can be eaten elsewhere. A little bit of salt and vinegar on there. I come in batter and I get wrapped in paper. What could I be? Yes, it is fish and chips. And look, there's a slice of lemon. That's what I like on my fish. There's nothing better than eating them by the sea. Are you ready for your next food? Here we go. So what am I? I taste great on a Sunday. Can be eaten other days of the week, but tastes great on a Sunday. I am best when eaten with the family. I get covered in gravy. What do you think it might be? So I taste really good on a Sunday. Great when eating with the family, and I get covered in gravy. Have you guessed it? Yes, it is a roast dinner. I think I'd have a roast dinner every day of the week if I could. What's your favourite meat to have with a roast dinner? Or some of you saying chicken. Some of you saying sausages. Sausages wrapped in bacon with a roast dinner. Oh, that sounds lovely. Mine is lamb and mint sauce. Making me hungry. Right, next food. We're all going to want to eat after this, aren't we? I am very cold. I can come in a cone or a tub. And sometimes people put different toppings on me. What do you think might be? I'm cold. I can come in a cone or a tub. And sometimes people put different toppings on me. Have you guessed it? Yes, it's an ice cream. What toppings do you like on your ice cream? Ooh, now you're making me really hungry. Right, so let's have a look at how different religions use food and feasts to create that sense of belonging. So you might recognise some of these foods in the pictures. What can you see in the bottom? Yes, it's a pancake. It looks like it's getting ready to be tossed up in the air there, doesn't it? Can you toss your pancake? Whoop. Oh, I'm always worried they're going to get stuck on the ceiling, but I do like tossing my pancakes. So pancakes are usually eaten on a day called Shrove Tuesday. Now, this is an important day for Christians because it's a day where it's just before a period in the Christian calendar called Lent, where they give up some luxury, to represent when Jesus went into the desert and went away for 40 days and 40 nights. And so he gave lots of things up. And so Christians give up something. And stereotypically, or historically rather, not stereotypically, historically, people used to get rid of all those luxury items in their cupboards, which used to be things like eggs, milk and butter. Now your luxury items might be something different. People might give up chocolate, or they might give up crisps for Lent. But in those days, eggs and milk and butter were really, really luxurious. So they would get rid of all those things and they would use them up by making pancakes. And that's why we have Shrove Tuesday, and people make pancakes on Shrove Tuesday. Do you have pancakes? I have a lot of pancakes for breakfast sometimes. What do you put on your pancake? Chocolate spread. Oh, mine is a lemon and sugar for me. Anyway, so, and also in the Christian calendar, you have a celebration called Easter, where they celebrate when they believe Jesus came back to life after being crucified on the cross. And they celebrate this by going to church and going to services at their church, but also with things that symbolize new life, like Easter eggs. So chocolate Easter eggs, the egg has become a symbol of that new life. And hot cross buns, as they have the sign of the cross on them. A nice toasted hot cross bun at Easter tastes really, really delicious. So let's move on to our next one. This is making me very hungry. Is it making you hungry? Me too. Now here we're looking, oh, knocked something over, sorry. Here we're looking at a Jewish festival. Where shall I put myself? Shall I go over to this corner? There we go. Hello. So here we're looking at a Jewish holiday called Rosh Hashanah. So Rosh Hashanah is a Jewish holiday, and I'm very sorry if I have said that wrong. And it's sometimes referred to as the Jewish New Year. And at Rosh Hashanah, they have lots of tasty treats. And one of them is usually apples dipped in honey to symbolize a very sweet new year. Now, if you look at this picture, they've actually turned the apple into a bowl for the honey. That looks delicious. A nice sweet apple stuck into sticky sweet honey to symbolize a sweet new year. I would definitely enjoy tucking into that. And then over on this side over here, you can see a sweet carrot stew. Can you see the carrots here? It looks like it's got raisins in it as well. A sweet carrot stew called, now I want to say Sims, but I'm not too sure that I'm saying that right, but you can read the word here and maybe you know how that word is said, but I think it's Sims is served. And I think that would taste really, really nice with the sweet carrots, because carrots are quite sweet actually, aren't they? So they would have that carrot stew called Sims, the apples with the honey. They would also eat challah bread or challah bread, so challah bread. And it's a round loaf. You can see it here in this picture here. And the roundness of the loaf symbolizes the circle of life and the circle of the year. Okay, because years they go, but then they come back round again and you have a new year and another new year. So it's that never-ending circle of life. And it is that lovely round loaf of bread called challah. Now, also at Rosh Hashanah, there are often a lot of pomegranates on the table because of the tradition that pomegranates, apparently, now I didn't know this, so you learn something new every day, even when you're my age, that apparently pomegranates have 613 seeds, and that's one for each of the commandments that a Jewish person should try to keep. So that is a lot of pomegranate seeds, isn't it? And a lot of commandments there to try and be a good Jewish person. But don't they all look really, really tasty? Which one of those do you think would be your favorite? Do you think it would be the apples dipped in honey, the carrot stew, the challah bread, or the pomegranate? Yes, they all look very, very tasty, don't they? I'm not sure. I think I might try a little bit of all of them if I was there celebrating Rosh Hashanah. Now, here we've got a Muslim holiday called Eid al-Fitr. Now, I've only ever known it as Eid. So it's interesting that I didn't know the full name for it. So Eid al-Fitr is a Muslim holiday, and it marks the end of Ramadan, which is an Islamic holy month of fasting where that Muslim people would not eat between sun up and sundown. So it's a month of fasting for them. And Eid is celebrated at the end of that Ramadan, and it is celebrated over a 3-day period. And during that, Muslim people, they'll wear their best clothes. So again, clothing being very important in celebrating beliefs and bringing that community together. They will decorate their homes. They will give gifts. They will eat delicious food. They will read their special holy book called the Quran, and they will go to the mosque and they will pray 5 times a day. Now, that's very similar to a lot of other religious festivals, isn't it? In Diwali, the Hindu festival of Diwali, you would have lights, and you would give sweets to your guests, and you would have delicious food, and you would decorate the home. And very much like the Christian festival of Christmas, where you would use lights, you would decorate their home with Christmas decorations, have delicious food and give gifts and read the Bible. So a lot of the celebrations have the same customs and traditions involved, ways of celebrating your beliefs and ways of coming together to celebrate them as a community. So those were just a few of the special foods that different religions celebrate with and enjoy together. And those were just a few. Can you think of any others? Yeah, some people are saying Diwali. Yes, those sweet treats that people give out in Diwali. Yes, they are gorgeous, aren't they? And many more, I'm sure you're coming up with. Now, I wonder whether you can think about any special foods that you enjoy, because that's what we're going to think about today. So we're going to think about special foods that you enjoy with your family or in your community. Now, when we think about all of those foods that we've looked at in the religion, so we had Shrove Tuesday with the pancakes, we had Easter, where the Christians enjoy chocolate Easter eggs, hot cross buns. We had Rosh Hashanah with the apples and the bread and the carrot stew, and then we had Eid al-Fitr with the feasts. They do lots. They have tagines and biryanis, all of those things. What do you notice about those feasts and how they were eaten? Some of you might have noticed that they're often eaten to celebrate something. So there's often an occasion where food is eaten to celebrate. So that might be the Christian festival of Christmas, it might be Diwali, it might be Rosh Hashanah, but food is often used to celebrate things. You may say that it's often shared with other people. So when those religions were having those feasts, they were having them with other people of their faith, enjoying them together and bringing that community together and that sense of belonging. So when do you eat to celebrate something? And when do you eat and share it with other people? Can you think of a meal or a feast that's really special to you? Perhaps it brings your family together at a really special time. Maybe it gives you a special feeling when you eat it, makes you feel really happy or makes you remember certain things. And perhaps you've got a tradition around a certain type of food or meal that you would never dare eat Granny's fish pie unless she's made it, something like that. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to show me that meal. Now, you can either decorate your paper plate, or you could draw around your plate onto a piece of paper. Now I'm going to come out of sharing screen so I can show you. So if you've got a paper plate, you can do it on there. If not, you could just draw around your plate, or you could just draw a circle freehand, okay? Remember, just try your best. Now, there's lots of, I'm a bit of a foodie if I'm honest, and there's lots of food that's very, very special to me. I love to eat my mum's stuffing with a roast dinner. There's nothing like that. And my mum does a brilliant stew with dumplings on top. Now, I'm trying to think, a special meal that makes me feel, I know what it is. Now, it's not really homemade, but I could pick many, many homemade meals. My nanny's fish pie was one of the best things that she ever cooked, and it was always amazing in the winter. So when we were at my nanny's in the winter, having a lovely fish pie, and she made it the best. So here, I'm going to do fish and chips. Now, I'm going to draw my fish here. Now, the reason fish and chips is so special to me, I will tell you once you've done your dinners, okay? So I'm going to carry on drawing my fish and chips with my mushy peas. And I want you to draw your special meal. And maybe if there's your grown-up around, you could talk to them about why that meal is important to you and what sense of belonging you get around it and who you enjoy eating that meal with. And maybe you could even persuade them to make it for you. So pause the video now, go off and draw your special meals. It's making me hungry. And then unpause to come back and we'll have a chat about it together. Hello, welcome back. Have you finished drawing your special feast or food? Well done, excellent job. Now, why did you pick that food? Why is that food special to you? It may be that it's because you enjoy it with special people in your family. It may be that you celebrate while you're eating that meal. So you are celebrating a certain time of year when you eat that meal. It may be that it's really, really delicious and only one special person can make that meal, so you don't get it very often. Now, my meal was fish and chips, and you might think that's a bit of an odd meal, but my family has a tradition that every time we move house, we go and get fish and chips from the nearest chip shop to that house, because it helps us settle in to the area that we move into. Now, this might sound very silly to some, but it's something that my family has always done ever since I was grown up, and I do it now every time I move to a new place. So it just makes me feel immediately at home in that new place, because we do the same thing and we do it together, because we've usually helped people move into the house. But with my fish and chips, I have to have certain things. So I have to have a lovely battered piece of fish. I have to have some lovely mushy peas. Obviously, some crispy golden chips. And it's not the same without some spicy curry sauce to dip them in. But it's really not about the food. It's about the feeling that I get when I eat it at that special time. So it's exciting to be in a new place, but it can also be very nerve-wracking to be moving to a new place. But just doing this tradition and celebrating it with food helps me feel like I belong, and I eat it with the people around me, and I feel that family community there. So I hope you've enjoyed thinking about your special meal. I hope it hasn't made you too hungry. I think we're all going to need a snack now, aren't we? But maybe we can persuade the grown-ups in our life, or maybe me, I might just pop down the chippy and get a little portion of fish and chips. So take care, and I'll see you again for our last session next time. Bye.